Over the past 7 years, the relationship between former US President Donald Trump and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has been pretty rocky, mainly because of trade issues and their very different political styles. But in the last couple of weeks and months, Donald Trump's persistent trolling of Justin Trudeau has caught public attention. Their first real face-to-face meeting happened in February 2017, just after Trump took office. You could tell that things were off right from the start. Their handshake was awkward and the vibe was a little tense. Their first meeting even went viral on social media. They had a decent chat, but didn't really dive into their major political differences. Fast forward a few months, and at the G7 summit in 2017, the cracks started to show. Trump was already isolating himself on the world stage, especially when it came to key issues like climate change. While Trudeau was pushing for stronger action on climate and international cooperation, Trump refused to back the Paris Agreement, and the things were just not clicking between the two leaders. But things really went south in June 2018. Trump imposed hefty tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum, claiming that it was all for national security reasons. But Justin Trudeau wasn't having it. He called the tariffs insulting and made it clear that Canada would retaliate. And sure enough, a full-on tariff war kicked off, with both sides slapping taxes on each other's goods. That did not really help the mood between the two leaders, and things got even worse when, at the same time, Trump stormed out of the G7 summit in Charlevoix, Quebec. After a press conference where Trudeau stood firm on opposing the tariffs, Trump called him dishonest and weak on Twitter, which really added fuel to the fire. Another flashpoint came in early 2017 when Trump introduced his travel ban targeting several Muslim-majority countries. Trudeau was quick to condemn it, tweeting out his support for refugees and sending a strong message about Canada's values. This was just another example of how their political priorities were on opposite ends of the spectrum, especially when it came to immigration and inclusivity. And then, in December 2019, Trudeau was caught gossiping about Trump during a NATO summit at Buckingham Palace in the United Kingdom. In a viral video, Trudeau was seen talking with other world leaders, including Boris Johnson of the United Kingdom and France's Emmanuel Macron, apparently mocking Trump's behavior. While Trump was not explicitly named in the conversation, it was clear who Trudeau was referring to. Trump later called Trudeau two-faced in response to the incident. The video caused significant tensions between Trudeau and Trump, with Trump further criticizing Trudeau for not meeting NATO's 2% defense spending target and cancelling a planned press conference. Things did not get better during the COVID-19 pandemic. Trudeau wasn't directly critical of Trump's handling of the pandemic, but he made sure to emphasize Canada's reliance on science and public health, which was a stark contrast to Trump's more controversial approach and statements. And now in 2024, tensions are back in the spotlight. Donald Trump, who is now president-elect after winning the 2024 election, has been threatening a 25% tariff on all Canadian imports. To try and ease the pressure, Justin Trudeau took the rare step of flying down to Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort for a meeting. Despite both leaders calling the meeting productive, there was no real progress in the tariff threat. The meeting touched on border security and drug trafficking, but critics, including Canada's Conservative Party leader Pierre Poilievre, said Trudeau looked weak in his negotiations, with no big wins to show for the trip. There's also the personal dynamic to consider. Trump often refers to Trudeau simply as Justin, which some people see as disrespectful. The two have had some moments of lighthearted exchanges, but they're clearly divided on key issues. At one point, Trump even joked that Canada should consider becoming the 51st state of the United States if the tariff situation gets worse, which led to some uncomfortable laughs in the Canadian government. Over the last few weeks though, this has become a consistent theme, with people close to Donald Trump. It is being seen as one world leader trolling another. As things stand, the relationship between the two men is still tense, and trade and tariff battles are far from over. Trudeau has been under scrutiny back home for how he's handled the situation, especially as Trump's unpredictability continues to make international relations tricky. If these tensions keep escalating, there could be serious consequences for Canada's economy and its standing on the world stage, given its close ties to Washington. But for now, both leaders are navigating this tricky relationship. Bureau Report, India Today Global.